Hey, I'm Rochella. I am drawing concept art for the original council members of my witch council, which is important in the reboot. And these guys are going to appear in the new prologue. And they're going to be witches, I guess. And I am super excited to show episode 1 to you guys. Not that I've started it, but I feel pretty good about the writing. At least for the first couple episodes. I'm almost done outlining the whole thing. I am more editing than writing at this point, but there we go. How in depth have I been going with the writing? It's been pretty... It depends on how important the scene is. There are some scenes that are more or less just really rough scripts with like scrap dialogue. And there are some sections that are literally just like, here's one sentence of what happens this episode. Act 1 and Act 3 are almost entirely done being scripted. Act 2, the beginning is scripted. The middle is outlined, and I have not written the transition from Act 2 to Act 3 yet. That's the main thing I have left to do before I think I can get started. I can do more revisions later, but I think I already fixed most of the really big issues that I can see. I don't think in the original version of That Witch Is My Sister you guys were gonna see most of the OG witches. In this version, they all appear in episode 1, which is the prologue. And the prologue is gonna be more like a normal scene instead of a story time. Okay. The other thing is too, I think I decided with the exception of like the really major characters, I'm not gonna do full turnarounds. I'm just gonna do 2 3/4. Is going to be faster. So many more characters appear in the new version. It's just not going to make sense for me to do full turnarounds for everyone anymore. My original turnarounds were like, I'm not sure I could get away with doing just the 3/4. My drawing wasn't consistent enough to do that. I was actually using the turnarounds to make sure the side of the face looked the same every time, or the front of the face looked the same every time, because my drawing wasn't as consistent. Let's do a little art show. If you haven't read my original version, or you haven't been around for that long, you're gonna be like, what the heck? So here's the art for Albert. I had never really drawn a cat before, like never. It was an ordeal every single episode that he was on. I really love the sketches I did. I'm a much better sketchy person than I am a finishy person. These are the original sketches I did. My thought was like, he needs to feel like a character you'd see on like TikTok. Here's Danny. I was really happy with her turnarounds. I think I kind of needed to do a full turnaround for her too, because she has some asymmetry going on. Here's the art for Newt. I don't think Newt's gonna appear in the new version or if she does, she's gonna end up a different character, because she's too similar to Vera, and with the way that the plot's going in the new version, like, Aloe really only needs like 1 or 2 friends. But I was really happy with her. It was a real struggle drawing her because I wanted her to be petite and have like the blonde hair, but I didn't want her to look like Aloe. And it took a lot of work to get the face to look different, but I did. Here's some old Aloe. Her face is a little wonky, so you can tell it's old and things aren't as detailed. I think this is for the redo, but I was planning to do the redo in the fall for the beginning, for the second episode, but I ended up doing it this winter of 2021. So this is actually pretty old. And then here is Aloe, the potion shop outfit. So I'm kind of getting closer to being able to draw her in this one. Here's the concept art for Aloe's outfit. I really like this one. I ended up making the jacket pink because I just couldn't get these colors to look good with her hair. So here's Vera's designs. These ones aren't her first ones, as you guys know from me saying it like a million times. Originally she had like pants because I couldn't draw fabric. So she had pants, but I was like, that doesn't really fit her character at all. Here's Evil Vera. Looking at these took me hours. This current one, I think I did the front view in less than an hour. I think I did the front view in about 45 minutes. And I could have done it quicker, but I'm trying to get clean art, line art. Not really because I need it for these references, but because I am practicing for the new version and I haven't been drawing enough. There is no evil Vera in the new version, but her evil Vera, if you like her, her character becomes someone else. And we'll have to see if you guys can guess who it is. This is the design I did for chapter 8 that I ended up using just for like one episode because I was like, oh, I want to do the reboot. I like this one, but I think I'm going to do something leaning more towards her original outfit for the reboot. I don't know. I'm going to redesign it again. I'm not fully convinced, especially with the top, though I do think it looks nice. Here's the concept art I did for her outfit change. I really like this one, but I could not get it to look good when I was lining it. Here's the concept art for the prologue, and these are just, I spent a decent chunk of time on these. Like, these are sketches, but I did spend a decent chunk of time on these. This is for the original version of the prologue. Here's young Vera, and here's her mom. Here is for the flashback episode in the redo. I think I'll probably end up reusing the young Vera design, so there's no reason for me to redo that. But she's so cute! So here's the old version, here's the new version. I improved a lot in a year. Something I do too is, sometimes I'll like color correct the base colors by putting like a gradient map over it, and that helps to like unify everything after I have stuff roughly down. Because I'm not big brain when it comes to colors. I know some people are very big brain. My brain is like colors. What's a color? It's important not to have too many colors, kids. More colors, more work. Don't do too many. That's more work. Also, picking less colors makes your designs feel a little bit more iconic. Oh yeah, another tip is when you're doing these turnarounds, you want to color pick from this, not that. That way, if you forgot to put any colors down, you'll realize, oh, I didn't put that color down. You know? That's big brain. It's a big brain strat. Are you keeping the genres for the reboot the same? I would say that no. I mean, it still is like a fantasy, an urban fantasy. There'll be flashbacks where it's just straight up fantasy, but it is no longer a comedy. There are some silly moments, but it's an action. It's going to be a competition, and people are going to use magic more often, and they're going to beat each other up, and it'll be great. I will feel so satisfied drawing magic and people beating each other up. Very excited. My characters are like, no, can you not? And I'm like, yes, you guys will fight. My children, you will fight. The characters, on the other hand, most of them are going to be fairly the same, and I think that's most of what's going to stay the same. I can't wait to see your magic fights. I can't wait either. I'm hoping they're gonna look good. I've been doing a lot of figure drawing, but I'm not. We'll have to see how they look. It definitely ramps up too. It ramps up, so I have a little bit of time to figure it out. I feel pretty good about this. I mean, if she was a more important character, I think I'd do a little more concept art first, but this is good enough for what she is. And it didn't take as much time as I thought it would, honestly. I'd like to be in the room when you tell your characters no more funnies, more punchies. Oh gosh, yeah, my poor characters, especially Aloe. At first it was hard to keep her personality the same while getting rid of all of the sort of just like random, like, I don't even know if slapstickiness is the word, but like, she has a lot of like random moments like that. After writing a decent amount, I went back and I edited the beginning, and now it feels more like Aloe again, but there's less jokes. Because there are two mistakes. One would be to make her too funny, because it would take up too much time, and I want the story to be more serious. The other mistake I could make would be to make her just emo Aloe. And anytime that she sneaks into being emo Aloe, she gets annoying as hell. I mean, like, I purposefully make her actual self a little bit annoying, but like, emo Aloe is like the most annoying freaking kid. But we're not doing emo Aloe. No emo Aloe. That's another rule I have in my writing. Aloe is not allowed to be emo. She can be mad, she can be sad, no Sasuke level Aloes. If Aloe turns into Sasuke, then something has gone terribly wrong. Please send help. Yeah, I like it. I like it. She's seen some shit. She's seen some shit. Okay. I'm sorry, Gardenia. You've had a hard life. I mean, you did before I drew you, but now we can see it in your eyes. We can see it in your soul. There we go. Thank you for the little thing. Are there gonna be any David Bowie characters with two-toned eyes? Originally, Vera was gonna have two-toned eyes, and if you look at the original thumbnail, let me see if I can find it. Vera was gonna have two-toned eyes, and I was like, that's a little much for Vera. That is a little much for Vera. You gotta admit. Oh, here's one of my comparison shots. So here's the original thumbnail. So originally Vera was gonna have two-toned eyes. You can't see it super well, but this is the original thumbnail. So it's not the worst, but it's obviously not at my current level. And this is what her outfit originally looked like with black pants. And I kept drawing Aloe in outfits like this, but it doesn't really. Aloe ended up a lot more childish than I thought she was gonna end up, so I started making her outfits more childish. But this is the original thumbnail. And then here's the thumbnail. I really liked this thumbnail on the left when I made it, but now it looks super old. But that's when I was sort of like figuring stuff out. This is a thumbnail I made in November that I think it's set to right now. Is Emo Aloe like the cringy 13-year-old that we all shudder thinking about? Yes. She's like Sasuke, but more annoying. Whenever I accidentally write Emo Aloe, and I'm like, nope. No Emo Aloe. That is a rule. Aloe is not to be emo. If for some reason someone gave me an ungodly amount of money to produce this story for them, that would be in the contract. No Emo Aloe. If you ever use this IP for anything, no Emo Aloe. That is not allowed. That is a curse. The legs can be kind of hard if you're not paying attention when you're doing dresses, because they might end up like this. Like, I'm not focused and they're like, hello there. We've got a lot of walking to do today. So you gotta like visualize the legs. So I will put my mouse over it and I will just sort of trace where I think the legs would be. So that's not perfect, but it would be more like that. So it'd be something like this. I've found too, you wanna minimize the amount of full body shots you have because it just saves so much time. Not even because like you're minimizing full body shots because of the difficulty, it's just like it takes so much time. It takes so much more time. So I've seen a lot of people complain about like too many talking heads in comics, but when you can get away with that, you do want to, because it does save time. Unless there's a reason to show the body or you're doing an establishing shot, you don't want to overdo it. There is a male witch in the reboot, but I don't think you guys are gonna see him for a while. But he's not like a super important character, so it's not like, oh my gosh. For the original version, sometimes I'm like, oh, this is a super important character that I like, but I don't think you guys are gonna see them for like 40 more weeks. Oh gosh. I need to pull up some medieval hairstyles really quick. Why is it called medieval? When I was a kid, and I feel like this isn't just a me thing, I thought that it was called medieval because the people were like evil and they like torture each other and they do all kinds of weird stuff like bloodletting, but I don't think that's where it comes from. So it's cool that guys can be witches, but I gotta know, can anyone do magic from education, or is it like an inherent trait? Like they have a birth/strain phenomenon? So everyone has magic sort of like inherently, and you're more likely to have a similar magic type to one of your parents, but you could technically have any single one. Most of the story takes place in modern day society, so there's a rise of people who don't really understand how to use magic, and it's more of just like the elite folks that are being specifically trained how to use it in an in-depth level. Like some people still use magic to go do jobs that are more like construction-y or like farming or like basically blue-collar jobs, but they're not using it in like any like technical depth. And I think it was the same way in like the olden times, where sort of like the more elite people kept techniques to themselves. Everyone has a different ability to use magic. Like, you can train, but magic like physically wears the body down, and every single person has a different tolerance for that. Oh, here's something I wasn't really thinking about, because I used to like showcase fan art in episodes. If you guys send me fan art with your permission, I'll put them at the end or the beginning of some of my videos. You don't have to, but like, I'll credit you and stuff, and it'll make me feel special. And if you don't want it in a video, that's also cool too. But yeah, let me know if you do fan art. Alright, so I'm gonna head out. Thank you guys so much for coming. It's been a great time. Bye!